it's already hard enough to be very successful in one particular thing that you do, let alone multiple. So in order for you to be successful, you need to focus on one business, one market, one influencer, one. Basically started doing this for other attorneys as well. Then when I replicated even more and more, so I've probably done about over 150 funnels, all in the legal field. That's my expertise. And about 2 years ago, once I received my first TwoCommaClub award, it was kind of like a proof of concept done. I did it for myself for the past, took me 5 years for me to receive my first one. But my second one took 2.5 years. Then the third one took a year. And then the other one took like 8 months. Actually, my fourth one that I'm gonna be applying for. But the idea is it's very replicable. That's basically the client generation side, but all of them have a common denominator, which is having closers who close the leads. So, the first half is just lead generation. The second half is client generation, which is now that you got the leads, how do you convert them? Which is where you guys come in. And I got a lot of experience because at this point I'm generating, God knows, 5 to 10,000 leads a month. So I kind of see what kind of texts we need to send. How do we keep track of the leads? How many times do we have to follow up the leads? All that stuff. And kind of gathering that. So that's one thing that hopefully I'll share with you today. And the second thing is, as a business owner, as an influencer, I need you guys. I need closers because I'm not a closer. I'm not somebody who can, I'm more behind the scenes, but I need to surround myself with you guys. So I always need you guys to be able to do what I do. But I've also been through a lot of different closers, the different personalities, different ways that people operate. And I know who's good, who's not from the get-go, first impressions and how people interact in the first couple of weeks. And I know what that leads to. I think I'm very good with like patterns, and especially I'm good with people also. Both of those kind of lead me to, I could tell you exactly, this is the type of closer you need to be successfully and be successful long-term. Be sharing my screen on a little notepad because the idea is the message is what matters. The first one is focus is everything. Okay. It's already hard enough to be very successful in one particular thing that you do, let alone multiple. So in order for you to be successful, you need to focus on one business, one market, one influencer, one. You cannot have a side hustle. You cannot have a side passion project and be successful long-term. You need to commit to one person, one business, one influencer, and give it your all. If you try to kind of do side hustles and things like that, I promise you're always going to be stuck at that level. And there might be, I'm not sure, what the program teaches, but I strongly believe, these are my personal beliefs, that you need to be focused on one thing at a time in order to be successful. And also me as a business owner, in the beginning, I was kind of more liberal with hiring. Hey, it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter if you have your own side hustle, sure, as long as your numbers are good, I don't care. But through experience, I learned that no, that's not good enough. I need you to be 100% committed to my business, and also helps you. It's not just for me, also for you. You will be more successful. You will close more if you're just focused on our business together. So take a moment right now. Is that me? Is that applicable for me? Do I have a side business? Am I trying to do something on the side? Wherever your focus is where your results comes from. So if you're trying to make a couple of things happen at the same time, I promise you're just going to come back to square one. And then until one day you finally decide, I had enough. I need to stay focused. So make that commitment right now to be completely focused on one business. Second is always know your numbers. You need to be super anal and super obsessed with knowing your numbers to the T. So obviously that starts off with your daily, every day, you need to be able to keep track of that. So Everybody has their own style. Maybe some people, scribble, this is how many bookings I have, this is how many show up, this is how many people showed up to the meeting, it's how many clients I closed, how much revenue, and then you take that over and you put that into a Google Sheet. That's one particular way. Or just have a Google Sheet open where you keep track of every single meeting that you have. Did they show up? Did they not? Did I close a client today? Etc. That needs to be done on a daily basis, which goes into a sheet where every day you have those numbers. And then that leads to weekly numbers and monthly numbers. So that at any point you could go look up, hey, in December, how many bookings did I have? How many show ups did I have? What's my show up percentage? How many clients did I close? What's my close percentage? What's my revenue per booking and revenue per show up? Internally, these are the numbers that I expect from at any point I text, my closers, hey, what were your numbers for in December? And they know when I ask that, they need to give it to me in this format. So feel free, I'll put this in the chat. It's a pretty quick little way to, here it is, quick little way to be able to keep track of it. So let's just go through it. Again, this kind of makes sense. You keep track of it on a daily basis, but you usually want to look at it on a weekly or monthly basis. So let's just say that I had 100 meeting bookings booked. But out of those 100, 80 of them showed up. So that's the case. That's an 80% show up rate. I closed 15 clients. My close rate is 15 out of, I do it based on show ups. How many show ups did I have? So 15 out of 80 is 19%. Revenue that I closed, 20K. And then these numbers is essentially what it comes down to. This is revenue per booking, but especially revenue per show up is your true value of how really of a good closer you are. And this is what I would hold you guys as if I was the business owner, this is what I kind of hold you accountable for is I want this metric to go up, the revenue per show up. So that means that the 20K that you close divided by the show ups that you had, this is your revenue per show up, and then revenue per booking, which is a little bit out of your hands, but that could be also something that's very helpful. So let's just say you closed 20, but you had 100 bookings. One more time, over 100 bookings. That's, oops, one more time. It's 200. You need to have clarity on these numbers, again, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And once you know your numbers, then you could improve on it and break this down into like, what can I do? What can we do to improve these things? So one is bookings. Obviously, everybody wants as many bookings as possible. That's really dependent on, who you're closing for. And sometimes you can control it and sometimes not. Good closers make their own opportunities. It's not just sit on your butt to wait for whatever Calendly bookings come in. That's like a default closer. But if you can think outside the box and be proactive to go figure out other methods. Hey, this influencer is right now using Facebook ads. What if I also started a YouTube channel for him, or get him to, create a YouTube channel and I help him bring clients from that way? If you're proactive that way, that's when you stand out. That's when it shows to the business owner, hey, you're serious and this is a good person and this person is adding value to my business. This person is worth more. So maybe let me bring them on as a director. So maybe possibly you could get a salary and get commissions that way, because you're adding value to the business. So you be proactive. I don't want you just sitting on your butt getting bookings. Okay, great. Anybody can do that. Show ups is something that you completely control. This is a big problem that one of my law firms had. We had a 45% show up rate, which is very low, obviously. We're trying to get that up above 80%. So the first place we started was the numbers. First, I got everybody to get crystal clear. What is your show up rate? What is your show up rate? What is your show up rate? So when everybody's conscious of what their show up rates is, now we could do something about it. So the things that we did, something that I learned from entering other funnels and other people did it, was as soon as the booking comes in, you text the lead. Hey, I see that you're scheduled. This is Bob. I see that you just scheduled a time with me. I look forward to our call. Let me know if you have any questions beforehand, etc. It's just a way to basically just check in with them and just start a conversation or engage with them. That little thing, that little text, as soon as the booking comes in, makes a huge difference. That's one kind of immediate thing you should do. Second is the day before, you have like you do rounds of texts. So you do basically every morning, you want to text all the leads, all the bookings that you have that day, and also all the ones that you're going to be having the following day. And the more that you do that, the more it shows to the person that you're booked with that you're serious, and this is a very serious meeting. And not only will it increase your show up rates, but also increase your close rate, because it just shows that you care. You know, you're not just in it to show up and then, you know, let's see what happens. No, you actually care. And I'm going to check in with you. And me as a client, I've been through these things for the funnels and people, businesses that have done this. I've been way more likely, and I'm actually been 100%, I think 100% likely to sign up for the service if they'd done that. If they didn't, I'm like, oh, whatever, just send it their meeting. I'll just scope them out, get some information, and maybe I'll just save them as my notes. And maybe I'll talk to a couple more people and make a decision in a couple of months, which I'm sure happens to most of our leads. But if you show that you care, then you increase obviously your show up rate and your close rate. Clients closed, obviously you progress, right? You don't just expect you start working somewhere for you to do spectacular. So drop your expectations, and your first month should be to kind of refining, understanding the market, understand the objections, how to answer their objections, following up, all that stuff. So, you know, but after the first month, you kind of, once you fill it out and you kind of see where you stand, then that's when you want to create a monthly goal. Well, my first month I closed 6, but it feels like if I do a really good job my second month, I could get up to 10. So up front at the first of the month, I make a goal. I want 10. That's I put it up. It's right next to me. It's very crystal clear. And I promise you, the fact that you just make a goal with a clear number that's tied to a very specific timeline. So let's just say it's tied to the month. It makes you like 2 or 3 times more likely for you to actually hit those numbers. If you just, as easy as just putting out to the universe and putting out there, which I'm sure Jake, your program pretty much does that. Next, your close rate. Obviously that's important. That's its own conversations, which I'm sure you guys teach about. And then ultimately, you know, it comes down to revenue per show up. So, and I also use this number to compare to closers. Well, somebody's, you know, revenue per show up is 250, but another person is 325. Well, that person is significantly better. So in that case, my mind is, how can I get the person that has a higher revenue per show up? How can I get them more bookings? So, you know, we want everybody to be crystal clear on this. The third one is focus on increasing show up rates by texting leads, or not just show up rates, but just using texting more. I don't know about you guys, but I personally don't pick up on any phone calls that's an unknown number. I'd rather for it to go to voicemail, and then I'd rather listen to the voicemail and then me be selective on who I want to talk to. I don't take on any incoming. I don't want anybody grabbing my attention. I want to be the one to grab your attention. So that's the same case with most of your leads these days. People are very skeptical just by nature. Second is Mr. Apple and the people that work on at iPhone and Apple basically started. If I don't know if you guys noticed that every time you get an unknown number, it says spam, most likely spam. So most of your calls are probably marked as spam. iPhone doesn't even give you a chance. So what helps is to text the lead, and you say your name in the text. Hey John, this is Sam, etc., etc. Introduce yourself. You're not trying to close through text. You're just trying to build a relationship and just start conversations. But it seems like it's a must. It's a requirement to text the leads before you call. If you just called out of the blue, forget about it. It's not going to work. So yeah, those are the top 3 things that I think are by far the most important. Is like the 80-20. If you can follow these 3, you'll be very, very successful. Again, focus, just, don't have side hustles, just focus on one business. Always know your numbers, and then just use text more into your little system. I have a couple of 3 more that I think are important too, but let me first put it back on you guys. Do you have any questions about any of these? Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, just from my situation, right now, I'm a director of an X-ray department. So I work 3 days a week. I have 4 days a week to work. So you're saying that really doesn't work out?
Not sustainably.
Okay.
You'll make money, but you'll cap out.
So I'll hit a wall.
You'll hit a wall, and you come back to square one and well, I'm not making enough as much as I like to. And then you'll start thinking that's other things, or you start getting shiny object syndrome and trying new things, and you're just gonna go around in circles. That's, I could tell you, secret sauce. Why am I even saying this? Because I'm exposed to, my first law firm is helps entrepreneurs start their business. So that was my first 3-4 years. Imagine, I was quote unquote a closer, closing for my own clients. I would talk to entrepreneurs who start businesses. So I would see who is successful, who is not, based on what they're saying. And then I would also see them, I would talk to them later. So I would know based on how they were operating, who would be successful. That's one. And second is, now I work with lawyers who are business owners. So I know if they're spread too thin, or if they have two practice types. Those ones are usually the ones that are struggling, versus Mr. Superstar here, who makes 100K a month, who was only focused on one practice type, one law firm, one thing, and is doing really well. It's a common theme for every single one.
Hey Sam, thank you so much for your time, man. First of all, thank you, Jake, and everyone for putting it together. My question was kind of pinpointing on like the last point that you were just talking about for the text messages. So, I just wanted to kind of get like your idea of like, after you text them, hey, this is like Sam, just give me a call whenever you get a chance. Let's say like, most of the time they won't want to maybe get on the call right away. I just wanted to know, how would you transfer that text message to a phone call?
Very good question. So you're not using the text to obviously close them. You're just trying to be a friendly person to start a conversation. So I'm going to give you guys a little couple of templates and different things that I've done. So here's one. I'll copy and paste this into the chat so you guys can have these.
Thank you.
Hey, first name, how's it going? This is Shoshana from ClickFunnels. I see that you're a lawyer. I would love to learn more about your law firm and see how we can help. What day and time is good for us to talk this week? This actually is proven to work for us. So that could be a good one.
Gotcha.
Hi, Shoshana from ClickFunnels. I'll be helped. And this could be 1 day later if they don't respond back, whatever. Now you give some kind of social proof. We help this many lawyers. Feel free to message me or cross-reference your calendar with mine here. It goes to your Calendly. Looking forward to talking to you. This potentially is one that you can also send out a day later. Or this one is actually one of our common ones that we use for most of our law firms. Hi, this is Bob from law firm name. When is a good time for us to talk about your whatever that is?
Right.
As you notice, it's all like, it ends with a question. That
Right.
nothing invokes a response better than a question. So always look to see end with the question. And don't ask them to do anything.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then
Right.
you're just trying to be a nice, friendly person, not push you too much. And you're just trying to say, hey, when is a good time for us to talk? I know you're busy, I know your thing, I know. And then if you can customize it based on the answers that they give you from the leads, either if it's a Calendly booking, whatever that is, use that to your advantage.
Right. Okay, gotcha. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Amir, let's go deep. Whatever question I'm going to ask, Amir, ask yourself the same question. Amir, what's your 3-year vision? Ideally, what would you want to be doing in 3 years?
I want to be a full-on closer, with working with either Mike's team over here, or with either a couple companies at the same time as well. When I actually get more experience through it, that's basically kind of the goal that I'm working on at the moment. Yeah.
Great. So here's what it's missing. You need to, what is the vehicle that you want it, like what's the vehicle you want to take to be successful, which is closing. But you need to know in what field, and you need to narrow that down based on what is your interests or things that you have some interest to want to learn more about. Okay. So you start off with certain types of businesses, either let's just say car dealerships, law firms, influencers, or like e-commerce influencers, things like that. Pick like a general niche. And then after that, you go on the next level, which is you go into a hyper niche. In that niche, what are the types of businesses that serves that market?
Okay, gotcha.
Once you define it, now you have a crystal clear vision of what type of business owners you want to do this for. And then now you have a goal, you have a crystal clear thing of like, now I'm going to learn as much as I can about this field. And then again, if it aligns with your interest, with your own interest, then it's good. I could tell you, for example, like one of our law firms does lemon law. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with what lemon law is, but it's essentially if your car, if your new car starts having issues, like your Chevy and Cadillacs, whatever, like those top American cars, then the car owner can basically sue the manufacturer, and then the client makes money. So let's just say if that your interests are cars, that would be like a perfect niche. And because now you know the general thing is cars, but now inside of that there's a niche is lemon law. Oh, maybe let me go find lemon lawyers. Let me start learning about cars and lemon law. Then now I could go apply that skill to that.
Kind of pinpointed step by step. Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
LaShawn likes this. So LaShawn, let's go to you. What's your 3-year goal?
Oh, my 3-year goal
Yep.
would be to basically optimize everything that I've learned in the academy. By the way, I'd like to thank you for coming in and sharing your expertise and experience with us in order for us to be able to glean from the stuff that you've gone through. So yeah, I would take the information that I've learned from the academy and apply it to starting my own franchise. I believe I brought that up in a Q&A session, but right now it's like I need to get to the point that I have enough revenue to buy into that option. So right now I'm working on getting into doing the canine closing for trainers for canine, and I'm going to use that in order to get enough revenue to get to the point where I can get trained by Mike and get more skills, refine my skills so that I can open my own agency in the Bay Area and start working with clients all through the San Francisco area, Silicon Valley area, and also in Contra Costa counties, and branch out from there. So, but yeah, to use that canine industry, I mean, that's something that's new. So maybe to branch out to not only the dog trainers, but also the dog groomers and also the veterinary people that actually work with dogs. So try to figure out a way to kind of meld that all in, because I just got the information about the canine thing, and it's like I've been brainstorming and starting to talk to people to figure out what their problems with dogs are, but maybe to kind of like bring cats in. So
all right, yeah. From what I heard is you got this going on, you want to do this and you want to do this and you want to do that. So the first point is you need to focus on one of those, because I heard from what I got, it was start off with franchise, then there was something else, and then we went to dog training somehow, and they're all 3 different things. So ask yourself, what is my long-term goal? Ideally, what is my long-term? Start with the end in mind, and then make sure that what you're doing right now aligns with that. If your long-term goal, again, I wasn't crystal clear, else I would make it very specific for you. If your long-term goal is franchise, then right now you should be closing or doing something in the franchise scene. So what would you be doing this if it doesn't align with your long-term interest? You know, success comes from sticking with something and getting into the nitty-gritty of it and knowing it in every detail, every objection, every little thing about it. That's when your true success comes out. If you kind of dabble in a little bit of dog training, a little bit of franchise, a little bit of that, you know, you're not going to get that much growth. So again, start with the, I want you to take this moment right now to write down your 3-year goal and to be like, whatever I'm working on right now, does it align with that?
This is sort of a 2-part question. So since Amir was talking about the text earlier, specifically, are there any like text templates to use specifically for getting people to agree to hop on a Zoom presentation with you? And secondly, once they do agree to a scheduled Zoom presentation, are there any specific like texts that you would send as for follow-ups for that to make to continue to ensure that the person shows up?
Very good question, Brandon. Look at what I put in the chat. There was 3 that I put in the chat. And try to understand, why does this work? You want to kind of start off with the principles in mind. One mistake that a lot of people make is you make it too much about yourself. The language, everything should be about them. Hey, what's going on? When is a good time for you to talk about this? If you make it out, put yourself in their shoes. You get a text and it's like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. Do you want to talk? I'm like, no, man, leave me alone. I'm like, out right now. So put in their language, speak their language, and then look at the 3 little examples that I gave you to see how can I make this relevant for myself. And always try to end with the question, what day and time is good for us to talk this week? It's very soft. You're not forcing them. You put the ball in their court. And if they don't respond, no worries, no hard feelings. You follow up a day later. They don't respond, no hard feelings. They're gonna offend it next day. Something that I teach to our lawyers is most people don't hire you because of pricing or because of it's not a good fit or they're not a decision maker. The number one reason that most people don't hire you or want to work with you is it's a timing issue, just not a right time. Maybe maybe they're out. Maybe they're not thinking about that right now. Maybe they got something going on. They're having a fight with their spouse maybe at that moment. That's why it's very important to follow up with them, days and weeks later, because you'll be able to find them in a better time. And the other thing, Brandon, to kind of test out is the timing of the text. Early on in the morning is the wrong time to be texting people. Nobody wants to get bothered in the morning. People have their own focuses and their own things that they're dealing with. People have kids and businesses and things like that. Test out with something to test out is maybe like lunchtime or after work times. People are usually kind of more relaxed. They're taking it easy around 5 or 6. So play around with that. Maybe 1 week decide to only text in lunchtime, record how many texts you send out and how many replies you get. And then another week, send texts at 6 p.m. and see how that goes. After 2 weeks, you'll get a clear answer. And then moving forward, you only, do that. The timing is also important.
Awesome. Thank you. Hector, what you got, man?
I want to go back to what Amir said about the texting, and I kind of want to see, because you try to pitch it all in one text message with the first text, and kind of what Mike teaches is you want to get them to reach to want to interest them into what you do and how you service them. So is that something that you've applied in text messages, or how do you get their attention? Do you just straight?
Mike is right. Usually the text depends on your niche, and it's not like this is like the text that's going to work for you. Just like I just want you to understand the principles behind it. But yes, I agree. You're just trying to see whether are you interested. Do you want to talk, whatever. Then you get into the nitty-gritty of it. And you don't want to reveal too much information about what you do, how you help people, benefits, and talk about that's too early for that. You don't want to scare people off. You just want to invoke curiosity. This is the reason why you should talk. Okay. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't want to push too much or reveal too much details too early.
Because I thought you were just leading off with that text, and I was wondering if that did work for you, because you said it worked for you. So I was wondering.
This one is after they've seen an ad, they've entered my funnel, so they've seen a video by me, and they've scheduled a call, so they're a little bit warmer.
So if it would be like that, that's what you do. You send the text about what you do, and then you say, hey, do you got time to call? And you try to get them right on the phone then, or do you schedule a phone call?
You have to, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what the funnel looks like or what ad they're seeing. Sometimes some people just Google something and all of a sudden they fall into a funnel and all of a sudden they get a text. So that's different language than Facebook ad, where maybe they could see a video. So they've already been kind of pre-sold. They know what it's about. So maybe you just have to talk differently. So, and it's an art to kind of figure out the exact language. But the more obsessed you get and the more you try different things very systematically, not just like text whatever I like. No, I'll stick with one template for 1 week, see how that goes, and test another template another week and see how that goes. I feel like you have to kind of be scientific about it.
All right.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, yeah, that pretty much answered my question. Thank you.
No problem.
Sam, thank you so much for being here and dropping some gems. I just have a question for you. What has been the most successful way of getting traffic to your funnel?
So there's 2 best traffic sources: Google ads or Facebook ads. And then the third one right now is YouTube ads as well. That's what it comes down to. 80-90% of clients these days comes from those top three.
Got it. Thank you.
If it's something that people are searching for, there's enough search volume. There's certain keyword research tools like Uber Suggest. You just Google Uber Suggest or just search for keyword research. Be able to kind of be able to put in the target keywords that people usually search for that service and see how many people search for that per month. If there's enough volume, if there's like at least 400 or 500 or more searches per month, then that means it's a good sign that Google ads will be good for you. Facebook ads is more, you have a higher ticket offer. You have an offer that's at least $3,000 or more, if not maybe $5,000. If it's less, it doesn't, Facebook ads doesn't, it's too expensive for anything less. If you have an offer that's again 3 to 5K or more, then you need a very tight, good funnel to get people to schedule a call. And the call becomes a sales conversation. It's called a call funnel. If you have an offer that's 3K or 5K or more, look into call funnels and get calls.
Awesome.
Yeah, and YouTube ads is also great. But you want to start off with either Google or Facebook. Google is very easy to set up. Facebook is a little bit harder. I would try that out. And then if you cap out, you have enough, then I would add on YouTube ads as a third source.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Good, Sam. Hey, bro, thanks for dropping in and giving us all these jams, bro. It's my first time I've always been on some of these webinars, but I've never actually put out there myself. But your words and your advice just really got my attention. I joined Mike Barron's Closer Academy for two things. I want to leave my morning job, and I want to learn a new skill, because if anything goes down again and we ever close again like we did in 2020, because I was left without a job for 2 months because I work in the restaurants and there's no service. It was closed. So I had to find another job that, wasn't what I was used to, but it was a job and I had to find a way to make some money. So that's one of the things. I also joined the academy to learn a new skill so I can at least have something new that I can learn. But my main thing is that I would like to open like in the near future some franchise restaurants. Now we started a pop-up when I came back to my job. We did like a pop-up of a Mexican concept for just pickup and delivery, and right now it's beginning to grow even more. My thing is that I do want to take that a bit more far, and I basically would like to open one of these days something better than a Chipotle. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they did a good job, but I know in myself that I can make that better. I can make that food taste even better than what you go eat, because the majority of times when you go there after they cook it, it's been sitting there for a couple of times, and I was like, that's already dried up already, man. But I want to offer something better than that, and I also want to create something like a Nobu style restaurant. I don't particularly want to be like an owner that has to own it, but I want to be a part of it, and say I did that. And you were saying that it's hard to do two things at the same time, and I was like, that's basically what I was trying to do. I've been trying to do all the time. But what advice can you give me if I want to learn a new skill, but I want to also do these things?
Okay, ready to take notes?
Yeah. Well, let's see if she lets me. I'm not back. There's my little girl.
All right. So first is you need to get obsessed with Chipotle. You need to, since that's where you're heading, that's your vision, and be even more successful than Chipotle. So you need to know their story, how they started, what their model looks like, why they're so successful, why people like their food. you need to get obsessed, because that's your vision, to be a better version than Chipotle. Just to give you an example, for me is I kind of had an epiphany that, having a law firm, yeah, you get clients. But what if my clients become law firm owners and I partner up with them, aka the franchise model? So I'm like, what is the most successful franchise model? Is McDonald's. So I started watching the famous Founders movie, started reading the book, the Ray Kroc's book, to kind of get into his mind, like,
Yeah.
what is it about it? So, and then I read this whole book, and then there was only one particular line that basically I had an epiphany that's shared. Basically, it's like, yeah, if you have a business, you can make money from your clients, or if you get business owners to make you money, then that's where you kind of scale up really fast. So you kind of have to get obsessed with what is it about Chipotle that makes them so good. And it's not, Chipotle isn't your enemy, it should be your best friend. So you should understand exactly what they do. Second is, if you already did proof of concept, by the way, I do strongly believe doing a pop-up is the smarter way to go, because you have to prove it before you create a restaurant. So if it's profitable and you see that there's no reason for it to go down, or for your profits, that it'll be successful, basically, then why are you waiting for? If I challenge you, Eric, I'll give you $200,000 to go open up a second location within 3 weeks. Within 3 weeks, you'll have a second location. So you should treat it like that for yourself.
Yeah.
So you just go
Well,
for it. Just make sure you have the right location, right?
The thing that I'm waiting for is because this pop-up was opened up with the general manager and the head chef from the restaurant where we all work in, and we presented it to the owners, and we went through several like cooking foods in order to get the right food that would taste the same as if you were going to come in and eat at the restaurant. So we did a presentation and we narrowed it down, we cut some things down, and now it's going good. But now we're like in the palms of the hands of the owners to see, okay, you guys are seeing the reviews, you guys know that it works, people are loving it, customers are saying we would order more than once if you guys had a location. And I was like, shit, if I had the money to put down myself, I would fucking open the location right there and then. Because I know it works. I know it would do good, especially in the area where this restaurant that the owners own, they've been there for 20 years.
So what's the minimum, what's the minimum investment to start up a new pop-up?
We were talking about that with the chef, maybe $1K will probably be good, or one or $2K, because he doesn't need a lot. He can work with half a kitchen, and this dude is great on the food cost and everything. This chef is like, he's amazing. If we had that kind of money, then even me and him would just go and open up ourself one, but we don't. COVID changed everything for us.
So there's only two ways: business loan or get an investor.
Yeah.
And when if you get an investor, it has to make sense for how much that they're giving you for the percentage. Don't give big chunk for a couple thousand. Just go do it. Again, challenge you, 200K, go create a restaurant, another pop-up in 3 weeks. You'll do it. So I'll challenge you right now. Go do it.
I'll talk to my head chef when he comes back. Right now, he's in Mexico visiting his mom and dad.
Don't wait on him. He's just one of your chefs. You could find other chefs.
Oh, but he's an amazing chef, though, man.
He's amazing, but there'll be another person who's also amazing too. When you're waiting on, because I'd say that I'm pushing you on purpose, because it's like a limited belief. I need this person to do something for me. I'm waiting for them to be in this situation. There's no such thing as ever being fully ready. You can't. Good entrepreneurs, moving things forward. Like, they're not waiting on anybody. Okay, great. If it comes back, great. We'll do them. If not, I'm already looking for the second and third chef. So don't wait on anybody. And then the last thing I want to share with you is, what are some other high-end Mexican restaurants? Go in, see what it is, learn from them, and again, get obsessed and what makes them so successful. And the more you get obsessed with this vision and these people, this vision that you're going to build out, the more, then you get clues of this is exactly how I should do it. So get obsessed. I think that's the common thing for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam, for that. I got a question myself for you. What is one thing that you learned later on in your career that you wish you knew earlier in your career?
Focus. Yeah, it's focus, especially these days. There's so much going on, so much information out there. It's good to have one source of education, or like one person that you're learning from. So it's good that you guys have checked that up on that. My fairness for you. Don't get jaded by other things, because everyone has their own style and it's their own thing. If you guys are happy with, with how it's going, just stick to that. Second is always think about like one. Who's the top? What's the top source of clients for me? What's the top way? What's the top vision? Always like think of one that way, and then just cut out the noise. There's a really good book on this actually, right here. It's called The One Thing. Go on Amazon right now and order this book for yourself. It's $20. It will get you in the right mindset of the one. Like get hyper focused on one thing, and it also makes your life easier. You don't get stressed out. I only have to figure out one client source, or one business, or one text, one email, one thing. Everything when you like think of one, like it's not that long. Okay, it's up to figure out the ones for each thing. If I forgot the top way for each thing, and then it all connects to each other. So yeah, focus on one.
Awesome. Yeah, and before I actually met Mike and got with him, I was recruiting, but at the same time doing this. So I mean, I was working a lot, but it was causing me to be more counterproductive than anything. Because even if I put a lot of focus into this, I would still have the other thing on the back of my mind, so I couldn't really completely focus on that one thing, like you were saying. So, for sure.
I promise you that is the answer.
Yeah, for sure. So I appreciate that. And then obviously, personal development is huge, right? You should always want to grow yourself every single day. You want to keep learning every single day. I know you just mentioned that book, but what are some specific things that you do yourself to work on your own personal development?
As you say, yeah, personal development is everything. The idea, my mantra is continuously better every day. So a little bit that adds up over time. So practically, to talk practical terms, is you need to find one source of education. So what I mean is either pick YouTube or books or a course, pick one. And then from that, what is the top one? So for YouTube, what is the top YouTube channel that I could watch all their videos and implement from? From book, what are the top books on this? If it's a course, what are every course that this person has, let me take it seriously and implement. For me personally, I consume a lot of YouTube videos and I learn a lot from YouTube. And then second is on weekends, I read books. So everybody has their own style. Just because the books works for some people doesn't mean it will work for you. But I think most people can easily do YouTube on 1.5 speed, and having good headphones. They just, when you're, instead of wasting time, just listen to something. Yeah, those are practical. Just YouTube and books.
Awesome.
Well, I just wanted to add that, I understand what he's talking about, focusing on one thing. And that's actually something I've been struggling with lately, because there's so much noise, out in the world. There's so many things you can focus on and get distracted by. One thing is so important. And I'm just starting off with the Closer Academy and stuff like that. So it's all kind of new to me. And I really want to focus on it. But like you said, it's kind of a struggle. So when you first started, did you have struggles and doubts and stuff like that? How did you battle that at the beginning?
I'm gonna put that back on you. So what are things that you're working on, or your goals?
Well, right now I'm doing side hustles, like you said, not to do, because I don't have a job, working a job, because I actually lost it in November. So I've been doing other things to help that, and it's just it makes it harder to actually focus on my actual closing academy job. So there's a lot of things I'm trying to focus on at the same time, where I have a kind of a short attention span. So it's it's a huge struggle trying to get through that. And I have doubtful days that I can actually do it and stuff like that. Trying to find motivation, but then I'm I need to study. And so it's back and forth.
Do you have somebody that you're close with that's going on the same kind of journey with you?
Yeah, I mean, I made friends with people in the group and stuff like that, which is helpful.
Okay. Get one of, become pretty close with one and have weekly brainstorming session. Hey, what are you working on? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I think everybody, this is one platform. You guys have a group. That's good. But one-to-one also has its own benefits because you could talk more and go into more detail. So one practical thing is go find one person that you could talk to, have weekly discussions with.
Right. Okay.
So write that down right now because actually I know you're probably gonna go up in here and you're like, hey, what was that Sam said? So write it down right now. Second is write down all your side gigs or everything that you're working on right now. List them out and feel free to write them out right now. And also put how much money you make per month from each one. And the third column is on a scale of 0 to 5, how much do I love this? Do I see myself doing this in the next 3 years? If it's a 0 or 1 or 2, we need to cut that out ASAP. Give it a score and then circle the one that you're like, hey, this is probably the one that I should focus on. So get it down on paper. It seems like there's somebody who has a lot of things in your head. So get it down on paper. So do that right now. Maybe you'll give me the answer on what that is. And third is kind of what I did earlier. Start with the end in mind. Ask yourself, what is my 3-year vision? Just say my 3-year vision is for me to become the best at this. And that most likely should be the one that you should be focused on and you should be doing right now. Whatever you do now should align with your long-term 3-year goal. Okay, so you have some homework right now. I'm gonna check in with you in like 10 minutes. You're gonna give us the answers for each of those.
God, I mean, the stuff that I'm doing is just like random stuff. Like I just sell stuff like here and there. I'm just selling stuff here and there. So it's like something that like a side hustle that I did when I was actually doing my actual job. So like it's not a whole lot. Like it's just a little bit on the side.
Drop it.
But, yeah, like Mike, he said he was raising dogs and stuff like that. Well, I happen to raise dogs too. I raise Yorkies. So that's one of them, and then I sell random stuff that I find. So like, it's not much. It's really not much. I wouldn't really do it for like very long.
Drop it. Yes, it can make you money, but it comes at the expense of something else. Whatever time that you spend it comes at the expense of you something other thing you could have been doing that could have potentially made you more money. So yes, it makes you $500 a month, but you could have probably made $3,000 a month doing something else. So
that's true. True.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Write it down right now. Write down all your side gigs right now. Give it a score. Cross out the ones that you're gonna stop this month, and circle the one you're gonna focus on for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'll check in with you in 10 minutes. You're gonna give us an answer.
Gotta score them. Like they're not gonna be very good.
Yeah. So if you have a bunch of zeros and ones, then you're gonna stop doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, we're all laughing, but it's good. Everybody needs this,
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
A brilliant exercise.
Again, everything that we're doing here is relevant for every single one of us. And then the same thing that I'm telling Sabrina potentially applies to me, that I've been through myself. So think about that. If that's something you're struggling with, write down all your side gigs right now. Give it a score. Is this worth my time? And then completely stop doing it. Stop. You don't need to make money.
It's gonna be like a 0. It's gonna be like a 0. Because I mean, if I can do like the Closer Academy and stuff like that, like I would drop all of this, and just completely focus on where I want to be in 3 years.
3-year, start off it there. And then what are the niches inside of there that I could get obsessed with and go apply what I'm learning from this program to that niche.
Right. And see, it's like I've been like trying to like have a side hustle while I'm learning to be a closer. So like I've been looking on the Amazon, YouTube, doing all like I had an app I was trying to make money on. Like I just like so many like gigs and like halfway doing stuff that's not gonna be like what I want to do. Like I'm just trying to do it right now, and I really should be focused on the academy.
Yeah.
So
yes, it should be.
Yeah. So it's getting me scattered. It's like it's too much. So it's like when
get your calendar out and write down the hours of the day and write in what you're going to spend each hour on and focus on the closer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna like drop all that other stuff and just focus on what I want to do with the Closer Academy, which my practical is today for the closers. So
Cool. Good
You
luck.
got this.
Let's go.
yeah,
You got it.
Yes, ma'am.
You got it.
I'm
Awesome.
excited.
All right. I know, Sam, we're approaching the hour mark in 5 minutes. How are you doing on time?
Good. For another 30 minutes, I should be good.
Can I
Okay.
ask a question?
Well, we'll go with Jeremy.
So, man, I just want to say, Sam, that I really appreciate the things you've been saying. It's very eye-opening and confronting even. So thank you, because now I got a whole lot of stuff to think about. So and you give wonderful advice. You're obviously, you seem to be a mentor in whatever you do. So my question is, in my life, this is what supports me, right? X-ray is what I've been doing for 16 years. So that's what pays my bills right now. Now, like Jim Rohn talks about work part-time on your dream and then until you can work full-time on it. Are you saying, because what I'm hearing is with the laser focus, like to just say, take the leap, screw it, let's go. Like, that's what I'm hearing.
So you're doing X-rays. How long have you been doing X-rays?
16 years.
And what is it that you do in X-rays?
I'm a director of a department, but X-ray, CT, MRI.
And then, so while you're doing X-rays, you're doing other things.
I'm sorry?
While you're doing X-rays, you're doing other things as well.
Yeah, the Closer Academy right now.
Okay. Does your X-ray thing that you're doing, does it align with your long-term goal?
No, I'm done, man. Healthcare is horrible. COVID wrecked me. I don't want to do this.
Okay. So what's the next thing?
The next thing, long term. You said the 3-year thing. I've been thinking so short term. I was like, okay, I wrote a question mark. What are my so as I was thinking about it, short term is to just replace my income and get out of X-ray. That's how I was thinking. Long term, ultimately, I think, dude, I almost don't care. Just something that pays me 10 to 15K a month. Like, that's where I've been at. So, and that's where I don't have clarity. And that's probably the problem. But
yeah, you need to find your niche. So there has to be something inside of in the X-ray field that you did that made you want to do it for 16 years. So were you managing people? Was it people, or what is it? What is it about X-rays that?
I taught X-ray for 6 years. That was actually the only thing I've ever done that didn't feel like work.
Taught?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
So you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I am.
Okay. So there you go. That's your common theme. Your X-ray just happens to be the vehicle or the field that you happen to be in, but your true nature is you're a teacher. You're
Right.
a giver. You're probably a giver in person, right? You're a giver. So
Yeah.
you need to go be a teacher or a giver in another field.
Right. Okay. I thought about keynote speaking. I like to mentor and help people grow and develop.
In a specific niche. You can't just be a general.
I really like emotional intelligence and helping people develop that.
So that's one. Give me another one.
Neuroscience.
Good.
The neuroscience specifically of empathy and compassion.
Great. And give me a third one.
Personal development. So self-awareness, which goes hand in hand with the emotional intelligence, but helping people self-analyze so that they can, like shadow work, like Carl Jung.
So there's already 100%. There's programs for these three. Just text to you or just put into the chat. You got to go see what's out there in these three niches. What are the programs that's out there? Who are the influencers or teachers about this? And take at least one of their courses. And essentially, your vision is to take one of these niches and to create a program, some kind of online teaching program. And if you're interested in teaching, the best book on this is called Ken Henry's book. One of my funnels, the last one that second to last one that I got $1 million. I basically used what I learned from this book to apply right away. Digital Millionaire Secrets. Again, if you're not contemplating teaching, don't worry about this. Again, I don't want you getting distracted by things, so ignore if it's not relevant for you. But if you're, for the sake of selling information online, this would be a very good book, very practical book to go get it done.
Okay.
So order
I'm
that
writing it all
book.
down.
Yeah, order that book and go on YouTube and start Googling those specific things, along with emotional intelligence course, neuroscience course, self-awareness course. Put those in, fall into people's funnels, subscribe for their emails, get their emails, and ideally you should take one of their courses to learn from it. Figure out how big is the market, how much are they charging, is your need for this. I promise you there's probably each of those, there's probably good things, but pick one of them and start, take the book and follow along with exactly what the book tells you. Just do exactly that. That's literally what I did, and
Okay.
it worked out. Other thing that helps, you guys have Mike Barron as your mentor. It helps to have a mentor. 100%. I have a mentor myself, and also through my own program, I mentor people. That's why I'm kind of good at this stuff. But everybody needs to have somebody. Yeah, you can learn from Mike, but ideally also something that we did with Sabrina was somebody that you could weekly interact with, what's going on, meet on Zoom weekly. Hey, what are you working on this week? What are you struggling with? Through that conversation, you get crystal clear. And then the other thing, write it down. Write out your thoughts, write out your plans, write out your stuff. So Jeremy, you got your action plan, book?
Yeah, yes, book, course, obsess. I caught that, right?
Yeah.
Obsess over it. Find a hyper niche and then apply the book.
Yeah, you're a teacher, so yeah, just be a teacher.
Brother Sam, I apologize, man. I hate to run you through this again. My hands on fire trying to scribble notes. The little exercise that you went through earlier with Sabrina, would you be able to possibly like post that exercise into the chat?
Which one was it? It's basically your
With
setup.
like helping her identify like what she needs to focus on as far as what's going to have the best long-term impact for her goals.
Yeah, so
What exercise you went through with her?
Write down all your gigs or things that you're working on right now. That's
Okay.
the first column. Second is how much money you're making per month. And the third is give it a score 0 to 5. This is something that I really want to do for the next 3 years. Does it really align with my interests? And look at that and look at your score, look how much money you're making, and you're like, maybe this one doesn't make sense. I'm only making $2,000, however much it is. But it's very low on my score list. It's not something I imagine doing for that long. I'm just doing it right now. Again, you could do anything and make money at any point, but if it's not sustainable, you can't do it for many years. It's just a matter of time that you're going to get burnt out and you're going to come back to square one. So if that's the case, just cut that out. Don't wait. The sooner you cut it out, the better. And then from that, you will circle one of them. If you don't have a circle, then ask yourself, what is my long-term 3-year vision? And then go find the niches under that one and go study it, and go find influencers or people that are involved with that, have a conversations with them. Hey, do you need any, every business needs people. They need closers, they need directors. They need people that bring in business or close business. Another one I'm going to put it out there is the legal market is also very huge. So if you're like completely lost, you have no idea at all, but you like closing, obviously, then look into the legal market. And if that's the case, you could reach out to me. And I could definitely put you guys in different law firms.
First of all, thanks for your time in the gyms, man. Really great. So my question is a little bit personal, and it's just about, could you tell us a little bit about your maybe your upbringing, and specifically what I'd want to know is changes in your mentality, perhaps stages that you went through where you saw your mentality shift, and what that was like.
Very hard question to answer. I think my journey started off with divorced parents. I lived with my mom, worked in my bedroom, and was under the impression that my dad would support me pretty much. He would make promises, hey, I'll take care of you, all the stuff. And he kind of fed me that for like 10 years. And then until one day I had a conversation with my mom and she's like, what? He's been making these promises to you? No, actually, it's not really true. So let go. And I realized at that moment, wait, it's up to me. The life is kind of up to me. No one's going to support me. It's all up to me. And that really was like the beginning of the journey. Is like, when you have your back against the wall. That was my like back against the wall. So that was the first kind of trigger. And then second was self-development. Thankfully, we're in a generation where all the information you could possibly imagine is out there. Again, YouTube and Amazon books. You can have everything you need. And that's the second thing. Again, YouTube and books, I would say, are big. And then in the last 3-4 years, I could say the biggest attribute to my success is having a mentor, somebody who does exactly what I'm doing to you guys, to me. Throughout the day, or as new things come up, I save notes. I just say, situation comes to me, should I hire this person, or what should be the compensation for this person, or different decisions that I can't make, or things that I'm kind of can't decide. I just put in my notes, and then when I do get to talk to him, then I just go down my list and I get those questions answered. So I always have somebody that you can bounce ideas, things from. It's good for you to have this group kind of setting. It's good, but also there's, again, very good benefits of having one person that you also deal with directly.
Great. Hey, are there any other questions, or Sam, is there anything else you'd like to share with us, or?
Yeah, 2 more things I'm going to give you. Actually, I already talked about one of them, but it's so this one I mentioned, but always be constantly learning from YouTube and books and top influencers. Find your top influencers in your space. Mike is great. Don't get jaded or get shiny object syndrome from different things. Just stick to one. And then the second thing is a tool called Video Ask. Does anybody know about this tool? It's not that common. It's not that popular. Does anybody know? No? Anybody?
No.
But it's really, really, really powerful. It's perfect for closers, but it might be a little bit too ahead of its time. I remember when I first got exposed to this about 2 years ago, I was like, whoa, this is the coolest thing ever. But I feel like yeah, let me just show you what it is. So imagine your lead all of a sudden gets a video like this.
A stronger relationship with my customers means better business, but it's hard with just email and a website. How to move them. So that's why I want to show you Video Ask. Video Ask is a new way to engage with people through interactive video conversations, like this one. You just record yourself like I did. Then you share it as a link or embed it on your website. People can respond with video or audio, or you can give them options to choose from. For example, hi there, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Tim.
Awesome. Now I can follow up with another pre-recorded question. What's your role?
I'm a product marketer.
When someone answers, their response goes straight to the Video Ask inbox. And the audio is transcribed, so you can search for it later.
I'm a product marketer.
Let me just show you guys an example instead of just seeing the demo video. Then your prospects all of a sudden get a link. They're like, hey John, I recorded a short video for you. Watch here. They're super curious to know what that is, so they'll click on it. Let's see. Example. So this one I think was, I'm trying to ask for referrals. This is usually you open this up on your phone, which even looks better on your phone, but if not on your desktop.
Hey, it's Sam here. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you from day one, be able to kind of see your growth from where you were to where you is now. Just look back and think back about everything that you've learned from the mindset shift when it comes to done is better than perfect, when it comes to actually setting up your funnel, and when it came to also learning about different traffic sources, being able to apply the 80-20 principle so you can focus on exactly what works and what doesn't. Hopefully, I've been able to help you start this journey. Again, I look at this as a lifelong journey.
Etc. So they get a video from you. You could go to speak to them directly. Hey, John, I know we talked We talked last Tuesday. Wanted, you mentioned that you're whatever this, that. Do you have any questions? Is there anything I can help you with? Or let me know if you're ready to move forward. I'll be happy to help you. And this works really, really, really well. Either you create one video that you could send to multiple people, or if you have those warm, super warm leads that are very likely to sign up, you just spend some time in the morning, creating a couple of videos to text it out to your leads, and you'll see good things will happen. Again, this is already, if you already have something, you already have a closing job that you're already doing, and you're probably having some trouble closing some high-end deals, try this, and I promise you will probably double your conversion rates, your closing rates. Other than that, so just overarching ideas is start with your end in mind. Start with the end in mind. Write down your side gigs. Write down how much money you make. Give it a score. Does it align with your long-term goals? If it doesn't, cut them out as soon as you can. Go hyper focus on one. Go figure out what niches can I focus on, and then inside those niches, what are some sub niches? Okay, so just the niche itself is never going to be enough. It's always you have to go find a sub niche. Go find those people. Go send them a cold email. Find them on social media. Connect with them. Talk to them. Learn more about the thing. And then again, as long as it aligns with your 3-year goals, go just hyper focus on that field, and good things will happen from that.
Guys, what is up? It's your boy Mike Barron. Thank you for checking out the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you don't, I'm gonna come through this computer screen and close you up my damn self. Let's go. I'll see you at the top.